Healing fam, how you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. So into this video, get your popcorn, get your soda ready, get your drink, your wine, whatever time of day, your coffee, your bagel, and let's get right into it. Jeanette Macy here. If you don't know who I am, I help people get over should I stay, should I go, and make you feel okay on those days when you don't feel alright. So, why do married men, or how is there a significant number of married men on dating apps and chasing after single women?
The amount of married men that are on dating apps is actually terrifying. Like, imagine being married to a man who has such little regard for you that he feels emboldened to go on an app where he can be easily caught and is literally sitting there lying to you every single day while he's swiping. Different girls are swiping on his profile and he's sleeping in bed next to you every single day. Like, men fear men.
Girls, there's a new bit of bullshit I need to tell you about that's happening on the dating app. Married men. I don't know. There must be a class or something that tells them how to do this. I don't know. I don't know. I'm baffled because it's happened so often in the past 10 days that I just don't know. These guys are on the dating app, and they, after you chat with them for a day, they ask you out. They half-ass ask you out. Would you like to go to dinner with me on Friday night? And you say, yes, that sounds fantastic. Where would you like to go? Or what time do you want to meet? You ask him back, right? And he doesn't answer you that. He goes in, oh, so what did you do today? Or he goes to the next, he just acts like you didn't ask what time, what restaurant. He says, I have a little dog. Do you have any pets? Huh? Back to the restaurant. Where are we meeting? Right? They never come full circle with it. They ask it because they think they're dangling a carrot to you. Oh, now she's going to talk to me for 2 weeks. This is a married man's bullshit scam. Okay? Remember, most married men don't want to meet you. They want to be a pretend somebody on the dating app. So, but they have learned over time being on these dating apps that we women are smart to it. No, if you just want to talk to my ass for 2 weeks on the phone, text me inside the dating app or on a WhatsApp or something like that, you're married, you're never going to meet me in person, we're not putting up with your bullshit, move on. I am not here for your telephone entertainment, right? And so they've gotten smart to that. So they ask you out. Do you want to go out? Would you go to dinner with me Friday night? You say, yeah, that sounds great. Where do you want to go? And he doesn't answer that. He says, oh, so what did you do today? Or, wow, I just got home from work. What do you do? What are you doing? Back to where are we meeting? That they think they've done is they think they're dangling a carrot to you so that you will talk to them for 2 or 3 weeks. They think they've tricked you into being their dating app girlfriend for 2 weeks before you get burned out with them and go, dude, stop fucking texting me, right? Before you get burned out with their nonsense, they half-ass ask you out. This one happened today, and I'm over it. I'm over it. These married men do not, and I know this guy's married. I know now. I didn't when I was texting with him, but when he texted me that and didn't respond to where are we meeting, when that happened, I gave his photo to Linda. She did her magic. This guy's married. Yeah. He lives about 30 miles away from me. And he's married. So I could reasonably run up on him, right? In public, in a store, with his wife. Now, Linda knows he's married because the 4th of July, they had their annual 4th of July barbecue. And she found that on the wife's social media when she searched his photo. So they're not that clever. Now, the flip side is he could be using a coworker's photo. Oh my gosh, I've got to tell y'all the story about using the coworker's photo. I got to do it. But this new game, do not fall prey to that. If he half-ass asks you out, and when you respond back, yes, that sounds great. What restaurant would you like to meet at? What time would you like to meet? Anything like that, and he just carries on like it never happened. It never happened. That's why he's carrying on that way. In his mind, it never happened. He tricked you because he thinks you're dumb, and he's married. How many of you have had this happen to you recently? Because it seems to be pretty rampant recently.
Up to 30% of people on dating apps are married. Half of the people on dating apps misrepresent themselves and lie about their height, their weight, and their marital status. So if you're going on dating apps, make sure you ask, is that really your height? Is that really your weight? And are you really single? So something to consider. What do you guys think?
And the wives be coming at single women talking about, stop going after my husband. Girl, your husband is on dating apps with full-blown profiles. They be saying they separated. They be saying me and my wife not together no more. They be saying my wife don't do what I need. They be saying my wife don't care. Nobody going after your man. Your man is married but single. And I never understand why a married woman would get mad at another woman for telling her that her man ain't right. Because if I was in a relationship, I want you to tell me. Don't have me out here looking dumbfounded. If you see some stuff, girl, come tell me. Because me and you together, I ain't gonna ever go at a woman crazy behind a man. You will be fighting a woman all the while. He ain't even telling the truth anyway. That's how they got us separate from each other. Men would separate women from other women. You know she lying. You know she just been wanting to be with me all along. Those were lies, baby. They've been telling us those lies from the beginning of time. And you would see women fighting tooth and nail. And he lying. They fighting each other, and all the while he got somebody else over there waiting for them to knock each other out, and then he'll go be with her anyway.
This I find to be very interesting, especially for someone like me who was married for 14 years and now back into the dating scene and having to vet. And that's the, when you jump on TikTok and that kind of stuff and try to get info, it's just so amazing to see other women in perspective, collective, and their experiences with finding that a lot of times there's some women who maybe might not be aware or just get too excited, get caught up. Because some of these married men can lie. Okay? They have all types of messages, copy and pasted. Okay. So you're not vetting properly. You get too excited, too attached too quickly. You're giving up the hot pot too quickly. Then your oxytocin is released and you're attached to that person only to find out they're married and you're like, oh, I'm broken. But don't do that. So a lot of the people, stories and perspectives that I stitch here share as a collective that whether you're single and dating, whether you're in a relationship and or you're married, especially, just make sure at the core of it, especially you as a woman, we have discovered, right? Many of them will say the quiet part out loud, especially on this podcast and stuff, with the onset or advent of social media. Now, all these things are out there, right? This is not nothing new for men. This has been happening for generations, okay? So you can't change that. You can't, men don't change. They'll change if only they change. So you gotta be ready to play the game. You gotta be ready. Okay, I'll give you permission to cry for 10 seconds only. I'm just kidding. Maybe 3 days. How about that? 3 months. And try to work towards getting yourself out of the loophole. Take your agency back. Take your mental health, physical health back. That doesn't mean you say, oh, all the men are like that, so you're just gonna settle yourself with one because he's your husband. But yeah, he's your husband, but acting single. He's all over the place on the dating apps, in clubs, out with the boys, googly eyed on women, all over the place. Not just googling eyes, but us also taking the googling eye, reaching out, calling, texting, doing all the stuff, and meeting up and doing all the schmecks that he can get. Come home and tell you he's not in the mood, he's stressed out, you're too much, you're fat, you're ugly. Well, in the meantime, he's getting satisfied, he's getting juicy steak somewhere else. And here you are wasting your time, energy, effort, your life on a man who can give a rat ass about you and all your kids sometimes. A lot of these men will just marry for the paper, for the status, for them to be perceived a certain way in society. Because being married shows that you're a responsible person, you're a responsible man, blah, blah, blah. Occasionally go out with you to prove that he's actually married. Occasionally wear his ring, be good. Now, the other thing too is that, this men might keep their rings on, or just, especially in the case of the men who are really entitled, narcissistic, they will not even wear it. Or they'll wear it in front of you. As soon as they step out the house, that ring is coming out, it's going to the pocket, they'll put it on. That's why some of these men, you realize, they might be changing their rings a lot because they lose it, they forget it somewhere because they keep taking it off. Especially if you're someone who maybe they're scared of losing, or they're scared that you might take them to divorce court and it's cheaper to keep you than to walk away. So they might as well keep you for taking care of the kids, your labor, your blah blah, and your contributions to the household, labor wise and financially, and still have their cake and eat it too. That's why a lot of them are on this app. Many of these men are not satisfied, will never be satisfied, and you don't waste your time, your energy, effort, especially if you're a wife, wasting your energy, not being your purpose, crying, heartbroken, depressed, not taking care of yourself because of a man. Damn. Well, anyway, I'm just like, listen, they are there. They've been there. Maybe before dating apps became a popular thing, they were going to the cigar lounges. They still probably do besides the dating apps, because now they have a lot of options. And the bar is so low too by many women, because there's a lot of women out there who they'll give it up for nothing. No requirement, nothing. Okay? And there are a lot of women too who think being married is a status symbol, so they will stay married to a man who's given nothing but chaos, troubles, UTIs, PV, STIs, STDs, and everything in between. So pick your poison. Stay single and do it well. Enjoy yourself, find friendship, find hobbies, keep yourself busy, get your certifications, get your money right, get your mind right, get your credit right, do all this stuff. Or if you're going to stay married, do have a lot of boundaries, a lot of requirements. Don't lose yourself into that one person. Now you find yourself drinking, using drugs, blah, 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 to cope. Sometimes I always say, if they're cheating, they're cheating and you can't leave or you don't want to leave, then cheat back. Stay there and cheat back. Enjoy yourself. Get your dopamine. This is not popular advice, but I'm just saying, it's exhausting. But a lot of men, whether single or married, are not honest. They're manipulative. They want their cake and eat it too. They want multiple sources of good juicy steak, which in this case is the hot pot. They change different flavors of it. So you can tell me all you want, not my man, but I see them either chatting with me, chatting with other women on the apps, and you're like, is that not him? Or even if you don't know him, you discover later through your vetting. If you have good vetting processes, asking all the questions without being afraid that you're going to run them off, because you're so content within yourself that even if you ask the questions and it doesn't work out, you have salvaged yourself, you've covered yourself, and you're not getting into it 6 months, a year, 2 years after to discover that that man has betrayed you of some sort and he was married the whole time, but you did not do your work well. You were blinded by the idea of romance. Forget romance, get what you can get, and keep it pushing. And if it ain't working, have the ability to walk. Let it hit in the chest. And then vanish. Love you, bye.
If you're married, why are you on dating apps? If you have a wife and kids and you're not separated or divorced, why are you looking for other women? That's cheating. I don't care.
Yeah.
But why did a lot of people do that, and it doesn't make sense to me. You're just like keeping that person around. They say that men don't leave, like, let's say a marriage, unless they already have some other shit lined up. So even if he's mentally checked out and he's done, he doesn't want what he has, supposedly majority won't leave until they already have somebody else lined up. So that's why they end up on pages like this, because mentally they're like, I don't want to be in this relationship, or I don't want to be in this marriage, but I don't have anything else lined up yet.
One thing about me, and they cease to fucking amaze me. So I'm gonna call him Jerry, and I'm gonna give you some backstory about Jerry. When I first moved to Texas, this was a couple years ago, when me and him just communicating via Instagram. Nothing big, just flirtatious, just simple attraction, cool beans. He got in a relationship. Him and I stopped communicating because he was very vocal about that. Cool, we moved on. Didn't think too much about him. Within the last year, he's been in my inbox very, very heavily, like all the fucking time, which is okay. His social media doesn't exhibit relationships, nothing. If he goes on vacation, it looks like he's just a single person doing his thing. So then he asked for my number, and I'm gonna post the screenshots here, and you can pause and read, and I'm gonna post the screenshots here so you can just have some context of the conversation. So then he finally texts me, and so then he's like, can I call you? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, what's up? He was like, I want to be very honest with you about my situation. And I'm just like, okay, what's up? So he's like dragging it like it is a fucking punishment. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, well, you remember when we stopped, being in communication? Okay. He was like, well, we tied the knot, and I wanted to be honest, so like, since we're gonna be talking, like, what's up? And I said, he kept saying tied the knot, he never said married. And I said, whoa, you're fucking married? He was like, yeah, we tied the knot. I said, here's the thing, I don't feel comfortable, and I feel like that's inappropriate, first and foremost, to me and your wife, to be communicating with me knowing your intentions are different. And he was like, I just wanted to be upfront, since we're gonna be like, doing, on the phone talking and stuff. I said, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. I won't want anybody to do that to me. And I don't want you to ever think I'm going for that, like, at all. I said, so it's best that we never communicate ever again. He was like, you're right. Well, I respect that. I respect your decision. You have no fucking choice. I can imagine being at home thinking I got a good man, and my man is on the phone with somebody else telling them their hopes and fucking dreams. You need to be sharing that with your wife. I don't need to be knowing that. I can't fucking fathom. I don't ever want you to think that I'm going for that. And you never said marry. You just kept, and you made it seem like it's a punishment. Here's the thing. I am not a fucking better option than your wife. I'm not a fucking better option than your girlfriend or anybody you've been in long term with. If you've been with them breaking bread, going through hard times and tribulation.
Side bitches do be keeping y'all relationships together. I'll never forget. I was watching this episode of Cheaters, right? And it was this lady. She was being a side piece to this man, obviously this older man, and he was married to this lady, right? And basically, he got caught because she had the car, like she had the wife's car or something like that, or whatever. But him and the wife hasn't been getting along, and like, I remember the side piece was saying, like, I've been begging him not to leave you. I've been telling you this, that, and the third. I've been talking to him. I'm the reason why y'all still together. I will be telling him not to leave you. And the more I think about it, him stepping out and her telling him, like, nah, chill, don't leave your wife, is the reason why a lot of marriages still together to this day. It's this girl I follow. It's like this, I don't follow her. She's on Twitter, and she's like a known IG thought. Like, she's just a known. She sleeps around. Like, she's just known doing what she do. No shade. It's just what she does, right? And so basically, it's like a video of her at the club, right? At the club, she's like basically naked at this club, like talking to this guy, dancing with this guy. And this guy literally was like talking to her, and he was like telling her how much he hates his wife, how much he's ready to leave her. And she spent like 10 minutes saying like, no, don't leave your wife. Like, you and her can work this out. And I'm just like, he's trying to offer her to be his side piece or whatever, but she literally had to talk him into staying with his wife. Like, sometimes side pieces really do be keeping relationships together. But anyway, you know how sometimes on Cheaters they be giving updates and stuff like that? After Cheaters got caught, like after she got caught on Cheaters, their marriage fell apart. Like, it fell apart. He was getting that release with his side piece. And it's like, is she really a homewrecker? Or she's the homewrecker that stopped the home from being wrecked?
Apparently married men are flooding gay dating apps. And this article in the Metro that I came across the other day is a gay man basically saying finding a married man on a gay dating app is like finding a cloud in the sky. And he says every other DM that he gets is from a married man. And went into the comments, and there were loads and loads of comments from other gay men saying exactly the same thing that he was. But the ego boost thing that's on the headline is basically him saying that the reason they do it, in his opinion, is for an ego boost, because what happens is they spend weeks talking, chatting, flirting, and just at the very last minute, they will pull out and, no pun intended, they'll ghost him. They'll ghost him, not pull out, they'll ghost him, and that will be the end of it. And he's basically saying other gay men will experience the... I should really start again, shouldn't I? But I won't. I'll carry on. What he said was they'll keep texting to the very last minute, and then they'll just stop and ghost him. And so in his opinion, that's just these married men looking for an ego boost. I didn't even know that was a thing. I think it's bonkers that it's a thing, but it is apparently.